At the summit of eternal heaven, a great demon lord stood like a devil descended upon the world, surrounded by tens of thousands of enemies. His entire body was shrouded in deathly aura and fresh blood, and around him lay the corpses of hundreds of thousands of cultivators. The air was suffocatingly still, until a righteous cultivator suddenly shouted, shattering the silence, "Quietly hand over the spring-autumn cicada, and I'll make your deaths swift." Old Beepstart Fang, stop struggling. Today, all the major righteous factions have united just to destroy your demonic lair. Fang Yuan, you beat King Demon, just to refine the spring-autumn cicada. You've slaughtered thousands. You've committed countless unforgivable, heinous sins. Demon, 300 years ago you humiliated me and stole my body's purity. You massacred my entire family and wiped out my 9 generations. From that moment, my hatred for you burned endlessly. Today I will see you dead. Fang Yuan was in deep green robes that had been torn to shreds. His hair was disheveled and his entire body was covered in blood. He looked around. The bloody robes waved lightly in the mountain breeze like a war flag. Fresh blood flowed from the numerous wounds on the body. Just by standing there for a short while, Fang Yuan had already accumulated a large pool of blood beneath his feet. Enemies surrounded him all around. There was already no way out. It was a foregone conclusion that he would die here. Fang Yuan understood his situation clearly, but even in the face of death his expression did not change. It was calm, his gaze was quiet, his eyes like deep pools of water in a well, so deep that there seemed to be no end. The major factions of justice that had surrounded him were not just the experienced elders, but also young and talented heroes. Around the heavily surrounded Fang Yuan, some were roaring, some were sneering. There were eyes that were gleaming with light, some holding on to their wounds while looking on fearfully. They did not move. Everyone was wary of Fang Yuan's final attack. For 6 hours this tense moment went on until the evening came, the sun casting its rays upon the side of the mountain. In that moment, it was as if the place was on fire. Fang Yuan, who had been silent as a sculpture the entire time, slowly turned his body. The group of warriors was suddenly alerted and they all took a big step backwards. Looking at the setting sun, Fang Yuan lightly laughed. The sun sets above the blue mountain, the autumn moon with the wind of spring. The morning is fine like hair and night is like snow. Whether you succeed or fail, when you look back there's nothing left. As he said this, memories of his previous life on Earth emerged before his eyes. He was originally a Chinese scholar on Earth who chanced upon this world. He endured a hard life for 300 years, and survived another 200 after that. Countless memories buried deep within his heart began to resurface, coming to life before his eyes. More than 500 years of his life flew by in the blink of an eye. I failed in the end, Fang Yuan sighed in his heart emotionally, yet there were no regrets. This end result was something he had foreseen. When he made his decision in the beginning, he had prepared himself for this. To be a demon is to be merciless and cruel, a murderer and destroyer. There is no place in heaven or earth for such a thing, turning into an enemy to the world, still having to face the consequences. If the spring-autumn cicada that I have just cultivated is effective, I shall still be a demon in my next life. With this thought, Fang Yuan couldn't help but let out a big laugh. Wicked demon, what is it that you find so funny? Be careful everyone, the demon is going to attack before his final moments. Hurry up and surrender the spring-autumn cicada. The group of warlords surged forward. At this moment, with a loud bang, Fang Yuan was engulfed in a blinding surge of energy. Transitioning to 500 years ago, Qingmao Mountain, Guyu Village. The spring rain quietly rained down on Qingmao Mountain. In the middle of the Guyu village was a magnificent pavilion. A grand ceremony was being held at this moment, and the lights were even brighter than ever, radiating with glory. Ancestors, we humbly ask for your blessing. We pray that this ceremony will attract many young men of outstanding talent and intelligence, bringing new blood and hope to their families. The head of the Guyu clan had a middle-aged appearance. His sideburns were graying and he was clothed in ceremonial white robes. Kneeling on the brownish-yellow floor, his body was straight with his hands held together, eyes tightly shut as he prayed sincerely. He was facing a tall black case. There were 3 layers on the case, all housing memorial tablets of ancestors. On both sides of the tablets was copper incense, the smoke rising. Behind him were over 10 people kneeling in a similar fashion as him. They wore loose white ceremonial garments, and were all the clan's elders, important members, and those who had much authority. When the ceremony was over, the crowd of people slowly got up from the ground and silently walked out of the sacred temple. In the hallway, sighs of relief were heard from the crowd of elders and the atmosphere loosened up. The noise of discussion slowly rose. Time flies so quickly, in the blink of an eye. A year has gone by. The last ceremony feels like it happened just yesterday. I can still remember it clearly. Tomorrow marks the opening of the annual grand ceremony. I wonder what fresh blood will emerge this year. I hope some highly talented youths appear. The Guyu clan hasn't seen a true genius in 3 years. I agreed. In recent years, both the Bai village and Xiong village have produced some remarkable talents, especially that Bai Ningbing from the Bai clan. His natural talent is nothing short of terrifying. It was unclear who had brought up the name Bai Ningbing, but the faces of the elders started to show worry. In just 2 years of training, he has already reached the level of a rank 3 Gu master. His talent is so great that even the older generation feels pressured by his promising youth. In time, he will inevitably become the pillar of the Bai clan. At the very least, he will grow into a strong, independent warrior. But for the young participants in this year's ceremony, not all hope is lost. You're right, a young genius has appeared from Fang Ji's side, began speaking at just 3 months old, and was walking by 4. By the age of 5, he could already recite poetry. Clearly a remarkably intelligent and gifted child. It's a shame his parents passed away so early. He's now being raised by his uncle and aunt. In the recent years I've heard of his creations Jiang Jingjiu, Yong Mei and Jiang Chengzi. What a genius! The Guyu clan head was the last to walk out of the ancestral temple. After slowly closing the door, he heard the discussions that were going on in the corridor among the clan elders. As the head of the clan, it is natural to take note of the most outstanding and promising young. Among the juniors, Guyu Fang Yuan stands out the most. Experience has shown that children with photographic memory, strength comparable to adults, or other remarkable innate talents, often possess exceptional potential for cultivation. If this child shows a great potential and is nurtured carefully, he might one day rival Bai Ningbing. Even with great talent, he could still become a future banner of the Guyu clan. With this thought, the Guyu clan head curled up his lips slowly into a smile. At once, with a cough, he faced the clan elders and said, "Everyone, it's getting late. You should all rest well tonight and conserve your energy for tomorrow's opening ceremony." At his words, the elders looked startled. They looked at each other with a hint of caution in their eyes. The clan head's words meant well, but everyone knew what he was aiming to convey. That Fang Yuan, if only I could bring him into my family. With both his parents gone, and with proper care and training, I could secure 100 years of prosperity. The clan head strictly instructed, however, when you compete, do so fair and square, no tricks, schemes, or anything that could harm the clan's unity. Keep this in mind, all of you. We wouldn't dare it. Very well, good night, take care of yourselves. The clan elders slowly dispersed with deep thoughts. Not long after that, the long corridor became quiet. The wind from the spring rain breezed through the window, and the clan head lightly walked towards the window. With the many lights dancing in his eyes, the clan head sighed. There is still hope for the clan's future. Even if it was late in the night, most of the homes in the village still had lights on, which was unusual. Tomorrow is the opening ceremony, and it affects everyone's best interests. A kind of excited yet tense atmosphere had enveloped the hearts of the people of the clan, and thus naturally many people could not sleep well. At the very same moment, a pair of clear eyes quietly looked at the same lights sparkling in the night, full of complex feelings inside. Guyu village, this is 500 years ago? Looks like the spring-autumn cicada really worked. I have been reborn. Fang Yuan quietly gazed, standing by the window, letting the rain from the wind hit his body. The spring-autumn cicada is used to reverse time. Among the 10 big mystical Gu ranking, it was ranked 7th, so naturally it is no ordinary creature. Fang Yuan stretched out his hand, his sight fixated on his own young and soft, pale palms, then slowly clenched them, embracing the truth of this reality with all his might. The sound of the drizzling rain hitting softly against the windowsill filling his ears, he slowly closed his eyes. Opening them after a long while, he sighed, going back to 500 years ago, 500 years of experience, it really feels like a dream. But he knew it clearly, this was definitely not a dream. It is said in a legend that a river of time exists in this world, it governs the world's time flow and circulation, and by harnessing the power of the spring-autumn cicada, one can travel back upstream, returning to the past. There is much conflicting opinion on this mythical tale. Many dismiss it as mere fantasy, while others remain skeptical of its truth. Very few truly dare to believe it. Because every time one uses the spring-autumn cicada, they must pay with their life, their entire body and cultivation become the fuel that drives its power. Such a price is far too steep, and what people find truly unbearable is that even after sacrificing their life, they have no way of knowing what the outcome will be. So even if someone has the spring-autumn cicada, they would never dare to use it recklessly. What if the rumors were false, and it was just an elaborate scam? If Fang Yuan were not cornered into such a state, he would also not use it so hurriedly. But now, Fang Yuan is thoroughly convinced, because the reality of the truth has been laid before his eyes and there was no denying it. He has really been reborn. I slaughtered hundreds of thousands, enraged the heavens, and provoked the vengeance of countless people, all just to finally obtain and refine this goo. Fang Yuan thought with a sigh, even though I have been reborn, the spring-autumn cicada did not come with me. Goo come in thousands of shapes and sizes, strange and mysterious in endless variety, too many to count. Some goo after being used once or even twice or thrice will completely dissipate. Other goo can be reused time and again, as long as they aren't pushed beyond their limits. That said, it's likely the spring-autumn cicada is the type that can only be used once before vanishing forever. After the thoughts of pity were put aside, Fang Yuan's heart burst forth ambitious and determined feelings. But even if it's gone, I can still refine another. I succeeded in my previous life. Why can't I do it again in this one? Even without the spring-autumn cicada, I still possess 500 years' worth of memories and experience, treasures and rare items yet to be unearthed, major events and turning points, future geniuses, predecessors of hidden levels, some people not even born yet, and 500 years of painstaking cultivation and rich combat experience. So how do I go about this? The main issue is that the locations are spread far apart, and can only be accessed during specific time periods. But above all, the most important thing right now is cultivation. As I am now, I haven't even opened my primeval sea. I'm just a mortal. Even an ordinary mountain boar can take my life. To cultivate as quickly as possible, I'll need to borrow the clan's resources. In my current state, I know power to travel back and forth across the dangerous mountains. Through the eyes of a 500-year-old who has cultivated in the demonic way. Qingmao Mountain is just way too small. Guyu Village even feels like a cage, yet, while a cage restricts freedom, its sturdy bars also provide some safety. In this short period of time, I'll just stay in this cage. As long as I can reach rank 3 Gu Master. I can leave this per mountain. Luckily, the awakening ceremony is tomorrow. I'll be able to begin my training as a Gu Master soon after. When he thought about the awakening ceremony, old memories that had long been buried away in his heart resurfaced themselves. He sneered, his gaze focused out the window. Talent, huh? At this moment, the door to his room was lightly pushed open and a young teenager walked in. Big brother, why are you standing in the rain by the window's side? The youth was thin, slightly shorter than Fang Yuan. His face resembled Fang Yuan's features greatly. As Fang Yuan turned his head to look at this young man, a complicated look flickered across his face. My twin little brother. I saw that big brother's window was not shut closed, so I thought I'd come in here and close it. Tomorrow is the awakening ceremony. It's so late, and you haven't gone to bed yet, big brother. If uncle and auntie knew, they would probably be worried. Fang Zhen was not surprised at Fang Yuan's coldness. Ever since he was a small child, his older brother had always been like that. Maybe a genius is just like this. being rather different from ordinary people. Even though he had the same look as his older brother, he felt that he was ordinary like an ant. They were born from the same womb, at the same time, yet why were the heavens so unfair? His older brother had been endowed with gleaming talent, while he himself was as ordinary as a stone. Everyone around him would say, "This is Fang Yuan's little brother." Even when he looked in the mirror, there were times he felt disgusted by his own face, like a giant stone pressing on his heart. Over the years, Fang Sheng's head lowered more and more, and he became increasingly silent. Worried at the thought of his aunt and uncle, Fang Yuan laughed silently. The parents I had in this world both died on a clan mission when I was just 3 years old. In the name of upbringing, my aunt and uncle took me and my brother in, while putting us through harsh treatment and seizing our parents' inheritance for themselves. I originally planned to conceal my abilities and buy time. However, my life was difficult, so I had no choice but to expose some of my talents. This so-called talent was nothing more than a mature and intelligent soul, one that happened to carry a few of Earth's well-known ancient poems. With that alone, I managed to startle people and draw attention, but due to the pressure of being in the spotlight, I chose to maintain a cold, indifferent expression, which soon became a habit. As a result, aunt and uncle were no longer as harsh toward me and my younger brother. Over the years, as we grew older, the way we were treated gradually improved. This was not love, but a type of investment. It's almost laughable how dear little brother never saw the truth. Not only was he deceived by aunt and uncle, but he also began burying resentment within himself. When it was revealed brother had a great talent, he spent much of his time trying to suppress me. As for me, my own grade was merely C-grade talent. Fate loves to play cruel jokes. A pair of twins, the elder, known as a genius for over a decade, only had C-grade talent, while the younger, always overlooked, turned out to be the one blessed with a great potential. From that moment on, the treatment of the two brothers reversed completely. The younger brother was like a dragon rising up to the heavens. The older brother was like a phoenix that fell down to the earth. Did I hate it? In the previous life, yes. But now, after 500 years of life, what's the point? There's nothing to be gained from resentment. Thinking about it from another perspective, I can understand my brother, aunt and uncle, even the enemies I would face centuries later. The strong prey on the weak, this is survival of the fittest, these have always been the rules of this world. Everyone is driven by their own ambitions, clawing at any opportunity they can find. In a world of war and bloodshed, what is there not to be understood? If someone blocks my path, no matter who they are, I will simply kill them. The aspirations in my heart are vast. Stepping onto this road is to be making the entire world my enemy. It's a lonely road full of blood. Revenge is not my intention. The demonic path does not compromise. With that, he couldn't help but laugh and gave his younger brother a faint glance. You can leave. Fang Zheng's heart shook as he felt like his brother's eyes were sharp like an ice blade, seemingly penetrating the deepest parts of his heart. Under such a gaze, he felt like he was naked in the snow, unable to hold any secrets. Then I'll see you tomorrow, big brother. Not daring to say any more, Fang Zheng slowly closed the door and left.